Hey guys, Module 3, welcome to Module 3. In this module, we're going to be talking about smart campaigns and templates. Really important in this, when you're looking at smart campaigns and templates, this is the messaging. This is the messaging that's going out to your database. So I'm going to show you the different smart campaigns that are pre-formatted, but I can't emphasize enough the importance of taking the time to read over the campaigns and understand what that messaging is that's going out. So let's jump in and take a look. I'm in my dashboard. From your dashboard, you're going to go down to All Marketing. With KV Core, there's always several ways to get to the same spot. So you can go to Smart Campaigns right here and get to it. And it takes you directly into the smart campaigns. Or you can go into All Marketing. You can look at all the different marketing features, and you can get into smart campaigns. Manage campaigns is what it says. So within smart campaigns, this is my campaign library. So what is this saying? It's giving you the campaign name. So the first one here is the 21-day pie challenge. Gives you a description of the campaign. This is my pies of gratitude. And so what I'm doing is I'm partnering with my local lending partner, and we are giving away pies to our past clients just as a thank you. We're throwing a party at the office, we're having people come down, and we're giving away pies. So what I did was I put together this campaign. Starts when I don't have a trigger for when it starts. So the individual agents who are participating in the pies of gratitude, they're going to start the campaign and they're going to trigger this. It's designed for buyers and sellers. It's not centric to one or the other. This is just a thank you, reminding people that you're a realtor and giving away a pie. And then when they're serving it at the table, at the holiday table, they can say, hey, my realtor gave me this pie. Great way of getting the messaging out. Channel is call, email, and text. And I have 10 touches in there. So we're going to have 10 touches running over, call it 25 days, because Thanksgiving's late this year. I have it always running, the status is on, and the scope is team. Okay, so this is the pie challenge. Let's jump in and take a look at this one. So as in this, you can see that it is, I created it, it's always running, it's for the team. If I wanted to remove it, I could do that. I could unshare it. I could clone the campaign and make it my own. It gives me the history of the campaign over here, what work I've done in it, all of those details. So it tracks the history of your activity within the campaign. Now, the messaging. If I want to go in and look at this messaging, I click on Edit. I'm excited to kick off the holiday season with my annual Pies of Gratitude giveaway. Stay tuned next week, you'll receive instructions. Okay, so that's my initial. I'm not salesy or anything like that. I do have my first name bracketed, so or the client's first name bracketed. And then I'm bracketed down here. So it's going to pull in the first name from the database and then my name as well. And that is the first message that goes out. So if you wanted to make this your own, you could go in and you could clone the campaign and you can make it your own. I used AI to create this entire campaign, all of the messaging. I went into my AI, gave it specific instructions for the Pies of Gratitude campaign. I told my AI what my goals and objectives were, and then it went in and created the schedule. It created the mixture of email and text, and it also created the messaging. And so I worked with the AI to create several versions of each one of the messages and came up with these 10 points of contact that you see here. If you're not using AI to really create this content, you either are really good and creative at creating it on your own, or you have a team that's creating it. Myself, I use AI. It saves me a ton of time, makes me look like a genius, and I'm a lot more efficient with it. So that's what the campaign says, and we're running this. We're running this next week. Let's look at another one. Let's go into a system. So let's go into the system library. So when you get your KV Core, you'll have, I think, one or two of the smart campaigns preloaded. But this is the system library. So within the system library, let's just find one. Default seller new lead. Okay. System default for seller leads whose status is new lead. Status is new lead. Remember that. I'll come back to it. Status is new lead. It's for sellers. It is a mixture of email, calls, connect calls, text, and calls. Connect calls and calls. So it does instruct you to leave messages as well as contact directly. If I want to add it to my campaign, I can just simply add it there. Guys, you need to go ahead and read these. You need to understand what that messaging is. I have right now messaging going out. People are calling me. So there's no, this is interesting, there's no results in here for this campaign. So let's choose a different one. Not sure why that is. Let's go into an active buyer campaign. 29 points of contact. Within this campaign on day one, so the status is active lead, it's buyer, and you can go in and view this messaging. So this is what the first text message says. I wanted to ask you the other day after you visited our real estate website, where you're actually shopping, blah, blah, blah. So I've gone in and I've changed this on mine, okay? If you're fine with this message, you run with it. What I do is I shift things around and I see what works. Also, according to the season, you may want to change this around. Who knows? But the important thing is you go in and read it. Let's take this next one. So 3 days later, this email goes out. Do you own locally? So it says, hi, if you own a property in the area, we have the tools that you will have. We have the tools that that'll let you quickly see that it might be a seller's market. And then this is a link to the tools. Again, you want to go in as like, I don't really like the wording of that. Obviously, I struggled through it myself, so I would change that. I would change that around. I would go into my AI and change things around. So if you don't like the messaging, say you look at it and you're like, God, it's just not for me. It's kind of clunky. You can go in right here and you can clone this campaign. I'd make it for myself. Campaign starts when. You can say new lead. You can pick the different sources. So these are all the different sources that I have. They're based on different marketing that I have done, based on hashtags. So I can say Craigslist. And we can go in and put in a hashtag for trigger. And I can say Craigslist, because when I have a Craigslist lead that comes in, I have it set up so it triggers that, or puts the hashtag in. I'm not going to get into advanced trigger because I find that most agents don't use that, but if you want to get into that, we can discuss it. And then, do you want it to always run? Do you want to lock it so no one else can use it? You have these options. And then you go in and hit next. Who's it for? In this case, it is for buyers. If it was for buyers and sellers, you could choose both. Then you go in and you want to rename it. So best practice, whenever I'm doing a campaign and making it my own, I rename it and I put my last name in there. That way I always can track it to my last name. This is the best practice I've found. Always run these sort of things. You can make those decisions, and then it gives you a summary, and then you can finish. So I'm not going to finish this. I'm just doing this as an example, but that's how you clone a campaign. Um, I recommend that you go in and you really focus on that. You need to know what that messaging is that's going out. Um, Funny story I have is that when I started using the platform, I imported all of my Google contacts. I didn't really know what I was doing, so I imported them all as new leads. And I had the system default new lead campaign running, and it started the campaign and sent the new lead email campaign out to, I want to say, 17,000 contacts that I had imported. I got some interesting phone calls, and yeah, that at the end of the day, I picked up some business from it because I was one of those agents that was neglecting their database. I was a secret agent, and I hadn't been in contact with a lot of these people, and it was interesting because they were really excited to hear from me. I had other people that weren't so excited, but anyway, we won't go there. Uh, but that's why it's important to understand that when you do turn these different statuses on and start sending this out and start automating, just know that as you have leads coming into the system, the client journey, and I'll go touch on that really briefly, the client journey determines how these are turned on in most of the cases. So if I go in and I look at Dee Snider here, we have Dee Snider in as a client. So if I take and change Dee Snider's status to new lead, it changes it to new lead, and then the system will go in and activate a campaign based on that new lead. It hasn't updated it yet, but it will. It'll put it in here. So the client journey is linked to the smart campaigns. That's the point. That's the point I'm making. Client journey is also linked to the Pi hashtag, or I'm sorry, the hashtag. In this case, I have Pi in demo because Dee Snider is not my client. And that's how I have them sorted. That's why it's important to know what that messaging is. So let's go back into Smart Campaigns. I covered the system library, I covered my campaigns. We looked at how to clone a campaign, make it your own, obviously how to read a campaign. Let's talk about the templates. So within the templates, again, the templates that are mine, I can go in and search Dyer, and I can find all the templates. Out of 428, I have 33 that I have done. Okay. So what templates allow you to do is have specific messaging. So as you can see, I created a template for August 22 newsletter. Ask for testimonials, blog post, buyer just curious. I did another just curious, Memorial Day, Thanksgiving, empty nest homeowner. These are the different templates that I've created, and I send these out. When I go in to a contact, and I'll go down to my demo again, and say I want to send Bon Jovi a message. and I want to send Bon Jovi an email. I can search templates now. This is all of my diars. This is my Just Curious. Thank you for registering on my website. I'm just curious why you're looking at homes. Most people fit into one of 3 categories. You're getting ready to list your home, and you're curious about what's going on in your neighborhood. You just like looking at homes. You're considering purchasing a home in the next 3 to 6 months. Which category do you fit in? Now, I took this directly from Tom Ferry. Tom Ferry podcast. I sometimes get frustrated listening to Tom Ferry podcasts because there's just so many good ideas that pop up. But this is the messaging that I have going out. I can send it to Bon Jovi right now. And in response, oftentimes I just get one of the numbers. It works. Tom Ferry, thank you for sharing this with me. So I put it into this template. I'm not going to send this out. Just as an example, if I am texting, I can go into the texting. I can go into templates. I can search Dyer. And I have the Just Curious, Conversation Starter, Granite Bay Homeworth. All of these are in here. Thank you for registering. So if you have specific messaging that you want to send out one at a time that's not necessarily in a campaign, you can do it through the templates. Templates are easy to work with. You can go into the campaigns, go into templates. Once you're in templates, you add a template, you choose the type. So if I wanted to add an email, you can go in, you can name the template, put a subject in there. Then you start putting in, you can say, hi. And over here, this little star, I guess sun, light, go lead first name. So now it's going to reference back to your lead and draw in the first name. Then you can go in, populate your content, say whatever you're going to say. And at the end of it, you can put in your agent first, agent last. And you could also go in and say, in my case, I have a smart number, which I recommend that you do. So I put my smart number. So all of these are pre-formatted within the system, and you can put those in. And then you've saved this template. So I could save this as test, and then Dyer, because I said best practice that I've found is always to save it with your last name. So now you could go in and save this. So with the holidays coming up, the election coming up, whatever you want to touch on, you can make a template for it. And then you could add that template. I'm not going to add this one, it's just a test. There also is the advanced editor option. I don't really use the advanced editor. The main reason why is that when you start adding images and you start adding buttons, add my button. I can have my rows of content, more rows of content. Go back to content, add your image. And then you can go in and browse for your image. And I have images that I've uploaded. I can go into Dyer and upload the images. I don't really use this though. And the main reason why is that these get caught in spam filters. The advanced email editing content that you put together, it gets picked up in spam filters. I see it when I get emails in. I'll get blocked images and that sort of thing. And most of the time when I have blocked images, it ends up in my spam filter. So I just try to keep a text message going out and stay away from the big graphics. Because at the end of the day, what you really want with your messaging is you want it to hit your target. And like I say, when you start putting in those images and that sort of thing, you're not always going to hit your target. But again, that's how you add a template. And so you go in, you can add a template. You can do the same thing for text messaging. And then also you can add a template for task. So if there's a certain task that you want to get done, for me, a task that I do monthly is I go and update all of my existing homeowners in my database with a equity report, and the system allows me to do that. Again, in templates, you can go calls, you can do webhook, and you can create all these different things. It's very handy to do when I'm going in and say I want to go in and schedule a mass email. I can go into the mass email feature. I can schedule a mass email, and I can choose a template. And I go in and create the template, and then I can send it out. This is how you send out your happy holidays, happy new year, and so on. You do it through the template feature. And these are all the templates that I've done over the years. And so you go in, you choose your template. Let's just choose one just to do it. I haven't done Halloween this year. Here's Halloween 24. Happy Halloween. It's coming up pretty soon. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Happy New Year. And this is the one I sent out this last year. I've updated this template since, but if that's the template I want to send out, I can go in and I can pick the statuses I want to send it out. So I can contacts, matching criteria from saved filters. I can get into hashtags, and I can get into statuses. I usually use statuses. So I go in here and say I want to send this to my clients. And then I go over here and I schedule a time. And I could say, okay, I want to send this out on the 1st of January. And I can select a time and say on New Year's Day, I want to send it at 9 a.m. Now I'm ready to send this out. So I'll update this and we'll get it going. We'll get it sending out. And again, this is using the advanced email editor, which I go back and forth on. I do it here because it's not a critical email I'm sending. If it's something I really want to get the messaging across, I'll strip it down to plain text. But that's how you can use these. They're very powerful. Once you get your database uploaded, once you get all of those settings done, you go in and you can start using this. You can see the number of contacts I send these to as I go through them according to the hashtags is what I've used there. Okay, so that's how you use the templates, the smart campaigns. Again, the thing I want to emphasize the most is you got to go in and read these things. Make sure that the messaging is consistent with what you want to get out there. And again, I can't stress enough that you need to read them and then go in and use AI as your marketing content creator. Unless you're great at doing marketing yourself, I find that AI is probably one of the more useful tools that's hit not only the real estate industry but just society in general. Whether or not it takes over society, we can debate that. But that's what I'm doing with it. If you have specific questions about using Smart Campaigns templates, by all means, just reach out to me. I find that most questions I can answer in less than 5 minutes. So, all right, go out there and use it, and I will catch you on the next module.